All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to unpack a huge idea, one that's completely changed the game for leaders and businesses when they think about their purpose. And you know what? It all boils down to one single question.
So let's just start there. It sounds so simple, right? But it might just be the most important question you ever really ask yourself. Why do you do what you do? Seriously, what is the reason you get out of bed in the morning?
And then, let's raise the stakes a little. Beyond just your own personal motivation, why should anybody else care? Your customers, your team, your community. Why should what you do matter to them? This, right here, is the question that separates the merely successful from the truly inspired.
I think a lot of us know this feeling. You hit your goals, you get that promotion, you achieve everything that, from the outside, looks like success. And yet, something feels off, like it's missing. That gap, that space between what you've achieved and a real deep sense of meaning, that's what we're going to get into today.
So what's the real difference here between, say, happiness and fulfillment? Well, think about it like this. Happiness usually comes from what we do, hitting a sales target or finishing a big project. And that's a great feeling, for sure, but it's temporary. Fulfillment, though, that's different. It's this lasting, stable feeling that comes from why we do it, from knowing that our work is actually part of something bigger than just ourselves.
And this leads to such a powerful shift in your mindset. The idea that fulfillment isn't some luxury. It's not a lottery ticket reserved for a few lucky people. As Simon Sinek puts it, it's a right. Every single one of us deserves to feel fulfilled by our work, to come home at the end of the day feeling like what we did actually mattered.
Okay, so how do we find that fulfillment? How do the most inspiring leaders and organizations actually get their message across? Well, the secret is in this simple, but honestly, really profound model.
This is it, the golden circle. At the very center, you've got your why. That's your purpose, your core belief. Then, the next layer out is your how. These are the specific things you do to bring your why to life. And on the outside, you have your what, the actual results of your actions, like your products or services. Now here's the key. Most people, most companies, they communicate from the outside in. They start with their what. But the most inspiring leaders, they think, act, and communicate from the inside out. They start with why.
And get this isn't just some clever business idea. It's literally grounded in human biology. The golden circle actually maps perfectly to how our brain is built. Your what, all the rational stuff, that speaks to your neocortex. But your why and your how, they talk directly to the limbic brain. And that's the part that controls all of our feelings, trust, loyalty, and all of our decision-making. It's the biological home of our gut feelings.
And that is why communicating from the inside out is so incredibly powerful. You're literally talking to the part of the brain that makes the decisions. It's why Simon Sinek's most famous line just rings so true. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This is what builds real loyalty, not just one-off transactions.
To really see this in action, let's look at a quick story from the book. And like a lot of great stories, it all starts with a random conversation between two strangers on an airplane. So one of the authors, Peter, meets this guy named Steve, who's been selling steel for 23 years. At first, Steve's pitch was totally about the what. We sell this really pure steel, makes machines more efficient. It's rational, sure, but it's not very inspiring, is it? But Peter kept digging, pushing him to find his real why. And after a bit, Steve's pitch was totally transformed. He started with his belief. I believe in using our planet's resources responsibly for our kids. And suddenly, wow, he wasn't just selling a commodity, he was selling a cause.
I mean, the difference is just night and day. The conversation immediately shifted from being about a product to being about a purpose. Steve wasn't just fulfilled because he sold good steel. He was fulfilled because his job was how he expressed his core beliefs. That's what a why does. It connects the things you do every day to why they actually matter.
Okay, so right about now, you're probably thinking, this is all great, this sounds amazing, but how do I actually find my why? Well, the good news is there's a clear process for it, and it's really a journey of discovery, not invention.
It's really a three-step process. First, you gather stories from your past. Those really specific memories, the defining moments that made you who you are.
Second, and this part is so important, you share those stories with a partner or a friend to help you spot the common themes. What are the ideas, the feelings, the contributions that keep popping up? And finally, you use those themes to draft your why statement.
And please, remember this. Your why is already in you. You're not inventing some cool aspirational tagline. You're discovering who you are when you are at your absolute natural best, based on the sum of your life's experiences. The whole process is kind of like panning for gold in the river of your own past.
So once you've pulled out those core themes from your stories, the very last step is to put them into a statement that's clear, concise, and something you can actually use.
And the format for this statement is so simple, it's beautiful. It's just one sentence. 2, and this is your contribution, the action you bring. So that, and this is the impact you want to have on the world. Your contribution gives your impact a direction.
And for a perfect example, just look at Simon Sinek's own why. His contribution? To inspire people to do the things that inspire them. And the impact he wants to have? So that, together, we can change our world. See how that works? It's simple, it's actionable, and it's completely focused on other people.
Because at the end of the day, finding your why isn't some self-indulgent act. This isn't just self-help. The whole point of this exercise is to frame your value in the world based on how you contribute to the lives of others. It's an act of service.
Ultimately, knowing your why is what empowers you to lead, to serve, and to inspire. It totally shifts the goal. It's not just about you crossing the finish line anymore. As the authors say, it's about seeing how many people you can inspire to run with you. And that is where true fulfillment really comes from.
So, we'll end this where we started, with a question. But it's a little more focused now. This is your starting point for your own discovery. What is the unique contribution that you make to the world? And what is the impact you want that contribution to have? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.